Once upon a time, I dreamt of this. I mean, I've always wanted to be somebody's mommy, and I love being their mom, but what the hell?
Yeah.
Prenatal depression. Is that a real thing?
Yes.
People don't know about it.
When we don't understand things, we spiritualize
Quickly.
So, is that so?
And
Village
the
people, enemies.
They have
Moko.
Wahala. But would you say fatherhood is just as difficult? Are we neglecting the men? Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening in the world. My name is Ibi Ayo, and you're welcome to another episode of the MotherWell podcast. This episode is very, very, very dear to my heart. Like when I was dreaming of this podcast, this is one of those episodes I thought of having, and I'm just so happy that it's finally happening. Before we get into my guest, who she is, what she does, how's motherhood treating you, or how are you grateful for motherhood today? I think for me, I'm just grateful to have a partner that is like locked in. I don't feel like I have to carry the burdens of motherhood on my own. Yesterday, some intense things happened in my house, and I knew I didn't have what it took in that moment, and I quickly just tapped out, and he was able to tap in. So shout out to the man I married. Lovely guy. So this episode is one of the ones that, like I said earlier, I'm just very excited about. I have with me Funmto Ogunbanwo.
There you go.
Got there in the end. Funmto Ogunbanwo is a licensed therapist. Her practice is called Ibi Ayo.
Yes.
And she's here to talk to us about all things motherhood, the traumas that we experience, and we're going to have some questions. You guys have also asked us some questions, so we'll make sure we throw those in there as well. Welcome, Funmto.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Why this profession? Like, what made you
study psychology?
Yeah.
I say that my parents are like liberal, but still conservative. Like they're still Nigerian parents. They're liberal in the sense that like all of us, I have three older siblings, and we all kind of have like unique careers.
Yeah,
my brother's a photographer.
Yeah.
One of my sisters is a producer. My other sister is like a tech sis,
founder,
so it's like we're all in our unique paths, and they gave us that freedom to decide what we wanted to do. So that's the like liberal part of them. So when I was in SS2, we had this like 1 week internship in my secondary school, and I interned at a radio station. I worked with Tosin Bokno, may she rest in peace, and it was an amazing experience. But then I was like, I don't think I can do this full time. So I started to think of like, okay, what am I good at, right? And in my friend group, I was often the one that would give like advice. And I like listening to people. So then I was like, okay, I'll study psychology. My parents didn't have any objections with it. Their own was just that you
just
did
get
well.
a degree.
Like you passed your classes. And while I was studying psychology, I really just started to see the gap that existed, because I was in America, so I started to see the gap that existed in terms of like treatment care for black people, and then also like in Nigeria
that context.
Exactly. So then I was like, okay, you know what, I want to just become a therapist. So after my undergrad, I got my master's. I worked for a bit, and then it was always like a long time goal of mine to start my practice, but I thought it would be like 10-15 years into my career, but God had other plans.
we were desperate for what you had, and God accelerated the journey.
Literally
we were desperate for what we
It was
had.
like, I did not sign up for this, but okay, thank you.
We needed to. Like I always tell people, like because when I started I've been in therapy since my daughter was born, and my first therapist was a foreigner, and I was just like she had some understanding of the African context, but I was like, I need someone that's really in it, that can understand if I say, oh, this is happening, you understand I don't have to explain, because I would find myself spending time explaining the backstory as to, culturally this is what this means, and that would take up most of my time that I was paying for. And I was like, this is not valuable use of my resources. Alrighty, so Ibi Ayo is the name of your what do you call it? Your practice?
Therapy practice.
Tell me about the name, because I know what it means, because I'm a Yoruba girl. But
so Ibi Ayo means place of joy. And when I was thinking of names, I knew I wanted something that would embody what I wanted my clients to feel. Which is safety, which is warmth, joy, and just that, like, you're safe here, you're comfortable here. So I couldn't find an English word that completely captured that. And I knew I wanted to, play on Ayo as a word. So I started thinking of different variations, and think it was actually my brother. Shout out to you, Lucky. I was like brainstorming ideas, like different name ideas. And at first I was like, should I do Any Ayo or something? And he was like, how about Ibi Ayo, place of joy? And I was like, that's it.
Shout out to
and
the creatives
honestly,
in your family.
I can't think of any other name. Like, I feel like
so
it
beautiful.
completely captures what it is, the essence of like who we are. And so
that's beautiful. Trying to like ease on into, but I think we're just going to deep dive.
Okay, let's do it.
Because see, moms are struggling, and I just really think that I think what I'm hoping this episode does is it just puts you in a position of like comfort and safety, and makes you start to open up to, or the listener or the watcher open up to the idea of therapy, because too many moms are suffering in silence. Too many moms are suffering quietly. They don't even know they're suffering, and you're trying, because as moms, every problem is ours to solve, including our own. Asking for help is it just feels like failure. I know I'm saying it because I've been there. From your unique perspective, what happens to a mother's mind before, during, and after childbirth?
Yeah, there's a lot that's happening to their mind, right? So before childbirth, it's like preparation stage, right? So their mind is preparing. So there might be anxiety,
always.
Like, oh crap, I'm about to,
bring life.
I'm carrying life. I'm about to like look after another whole human being. When
can I do it? Do I have?
So there can be that anxiety, and then during, the mind is also preparing. So we can have a surge in what we would call like oxytocin. So that's like, some people describe it as like the feel-good hormone, or like, the bonding hormone, right? So to help, bonding with baby and mother, right? So we can have that during the pregnancy, but then also the maternal instinct is also growing, and just that like nurturance piece of it is also growing. And then after, it's like a whole hormonal like storm, right?
It's a storm,
going on.
A real storm.
So like your hormones are changing, you're going through sleep deprivation. I mean, the act of giving birth, like physically, it takes a toll on your physical body. And so there are a lot of changes that are going on within you. So it's like a storm that you then have to like navigate through, right? So there's a lot that goes on before, during, and after. And, all of these things are to, help the mother and baby thrive, right? And, just to...
So even the storm is there to help you?
It is. It just so happens that it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on at once, right? But like, it's nature doing its thing. It's nature doing its thing. Right? So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like during my postpartum seasons, I really did feel like I was stretching. And like, when you look at anything that's stretching, it's an internal turmoil, but it's externally growing. But internally, it's chaos. So I do feel like, if that is the analogy, it resonates with me, because I feel like before, during, and after my children were born, who I know myself to be has almost disappeared for another version of me to emerge, and that is bittersweet, but we'll talk about that. I had a question that I wanted to ask. Prenatal depression, is that a real thing?
Yes.
People don't know about it. When it's happening to you, how do you identify it, and what is your advice?
So, prenatal depression is a real thing, right? Because like we've spoken about, there are changes that are going on before and during pregnancy. And so there are different hormones that are being secreted, right? And so these hormones can trigger different responses in your body, right? And let's say, the mother has like a history of trauma, for example, right? She's experienced traumatic incidents in her life. Some of these hormones can trigger some of the hormones that she felt during that incident. And so the body doesn't know how to react. So it's like, oh my God, are we back there? So there are lots of changes that are going on, right? And so I would say, like, obvious ways to recognize it is if there are changes, if these changes seem to be affecting your daily functioning, right, for a prolonged time, right? So let's say, I mean, clinically the standard is usually like 2 weeks, but I don't think 2 weeks is enough. I would say like maybe 4 weeks or 6 weeks, you know.
Yes.
You know how like for like medication now, they always say, oh, if symptoms persist after so and so days, and call your doctor. It's just like, it usually persists after those 2 days. So I would say like 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, you know, if you're having difficulty doing things that you typically would do, if there are feelings of just like intense sadness that you can't, you know, shake off, you don't know where it's coming from, if there are thoughts of harming yourself, and you know, sometimes these thoughts of harming yourself, it doesn't always come across as like, oh, I want to die.
Yes.
It might come across like, oh, I just wish I could sleep longer, or I just wish I could sleep and not wake up, right? Or if something were to happen to me, I wouldn't be upset at it, right? Those are thoughts of harming yourself, but because those thoughts can those thoughts can feel passive, it's what we would call like passive suicidal ideation, right? It can fly under
the radar. So if you say, oh, I can't wait for Jesus to come,
we're going to unpack that
because I say that all the time. Yikes. Okay. Hi, I just want to quickly pop in and remind you that this episode is brought to you by Swaddle. Now, Swaddle is an AI assistant that helps moms stay organized, puts you in community with like-minded moms. We're keeping you on your self-care, self-love journey so you continue to put yourself on top of your to-do list, and we're making sure that you have an AI assistant that is like your inbuilt virtual assistant to just assist you on your journey, because motherhood is hard, okay? But we got this. So please follow us on Instagram at swaddle.app. Click the link in our bio, join our community, and until it launches, we'll continue to have a good time. So back to the episode. Oh, wow. How can you tell when someone is struggling with prenatal or postpartum depression?
Yeah, so with prenatal and postpartum, you know, it's like some of those things that I just said. So difficulty doing things, intense sadness, self-harm, and then with postpartum in particular, if there's difficulty bonding with the baby, right? And I know that can trigger a host of different feelings for moms, because it's like, what do you mean you don't want to bond with your child, right? Like, why am I not feeling these feelings of happiness, joy that everyone else is feeling around me, right? So if there's difficulty bonding with your baby, and this is another one that moms don't usually like to admit to themselves, is if there's thoughts of harming the baby, right? So again, harming might not look like, oh, I want to suffocate this child, right? But maybe like, I don't feel like feeding them. I don't feel like changing them.
Got you.
Right? Because especially within those like first few weeks and months, we know that that's a very sensitive period for the baby. I mean, the whole baby's life is sensitive, but you know, but we know that like those initial stages are very sensitive, right? So care for them it needs to be at 100, right? So if you feel yourself
not wanting
to do that, or like even like being sluggish in doing that, those are thoughts of, you know, wanting to, you know, just harm the baby. And again, that can be a very hard pill to swallow, and you know, even to like admit to yourself, but the reality is it's happening. And unfortunately, we don't live in a society where it's talked about enough, or where there's enough like understanding of it, right? I'll give a personal example. The electrician that we use in my house, his wife has postpartum.
How did you diagnose that?
I didn't diagnose it. So it was actually my mom. He had told my mom. And like he had told my sister as well. And so I think now she's with her family in like where they're from and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh wow, like that's first of all, I'm glad that like there isn't any
stigma.
Exactly. And you know, from what he said, it doesn't seem like, oh, there's any like feelings of like he's angry with her or anything like that. He just understands right? So there's like an understanding there. But when I first found out, so I was just like, oh my God, like if this can happen to him, then it's happening to
Everybody.
everybody. And like, imagine the,
everybody.
people that they're not even speaking up about it, or like the family isn't like understanding of it, and then there's now shame. And when we don't understand things, we spiritualize
quickly.
So is that so? Village people, enemies.
They have
Moko.
Wahala. I always tell people that I am yet to find one mother that I don't know, one mother that I know that hasn't gone through some level of postpartum depression. I don't think I've seen it as bad as, maybe they won't admit to me, but actually nobody would probably admit that to anyone. But I've not seen a situation where it's as bad as wanting to harm the child, but I know that deep sadness and that grief, because there's a big grief of who you used to be. Because I remember one of my very good friends when we just had a baby, and I always talk about how she called me wailing, and she was like, Faye, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't even recognize myself anymore. And she's just crying, and I'm like, I understand, because I think we had our kids like a month apart or so. So everything she was feeling, I was feeling, and in that moment we were able to give ourselves something that we were probably too ashamed to ask of or even say outside to anyone, because there's also that toxic positivity.
Everything's gonna be fine.
And it's like in this moment the sky is falling, the clouds are blue and gray, everything feels heavy, I just need to feel my feelings. There's also something I've noticed that happens with a lot of women, and nobody's talking about this enough, but it's this change in like sexual desire and sexual appetite that happens when children are born, where you don't feel attractive, and so you don't want to be you don't see yourself as sexual anymore. I've seen situations where that has actually even left the table because this person just no longer feels themselves. And can you speak to that and just what's happening there and how? What are the tools? Because the girls need help, okay?
Yeah, they do. And I mean, there's a lot that's happening, during pregnancy and like after pregnancy. Like your body has literally brought forth life, and it's changed and like twisted in ways that you don't understand. And so it's no surprise that you don't feel as desirable. The way through this is both partners need to discuss this, right? So there needs to be understanding on there needs to be understanding, there needs to be openness, there needs to be grace, from both partners, right? So with the husband, for example, the male partner, right, there needs to be understanding that, okay, this woman's body has changed, right? And I know that, for some men, it's just like, oh, I don't care. Like, you still look attractive. You're still attractive. That's all well and good. And it's great. And tell her that, right? But also be gentle with her. And
make room for the fact that that's how she feels.
Exactly. And, like, she's still processing that, right? So just because you tell her, oh, you're still attractive to me, I still want you, it doesn't mean that like it's going to automatically spark that desire for her, right? So you have to be gentle. But then for the mother as well, like you kind of have to step out of your comfort zone, right? So as we're giving the male partner grace, you also got to give him grace too. And like meet in the middle, right?
It's tough sometimes.
Get to know your new body.
Right? Get to know your new body is a big one, I think. Get comfortable with the new. Fall in love with the new. It's hard.
It's very hard.
Very hard. But I think that is one of the things that I've seen in all the women that I've seen through my years of motherhood and the years before. You kind of have to almost shock yourself with your beauty and be like, do you know what? In the words of Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you have to pop out and show niggas. Like, just show yourself first that I still have it. And I remember when I had my daughter and I was really struggling with like self-esteem and my body dysmorphia was doing I was in therapy and my therapist was like, what did you do before to make you feel beautiful? And she was like, go back to those things. But a lot of the things I did then were things that I was no longer really interested in, and so I had to discover new things. So I took up modeling. I would literally call people, be like, hey, if you're looking like for a plus size model, like I'm your girl, that. So I did that a couple times, and I did find myself returning to myself, but it was so extreme. It was such an extreme, like you almost had to like shock, like what's that thing in, I always reference that thing. The thing in Grey's Anatomy where you have to like literally like electrocute yourself with something very out of your everyday to like remind you of who you are, what you're worth, and that you're beautiful. Because that journey really did help me come back to myself in a sense, and fashion has been that tool for me.
Yes, you have to find what works for you, right? So with modeling, I just wonder if it was the process of actually like being a model, right? Like you're getting glam, you're wearing nice clothes.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think also seeing the pictures back.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
I look good.
I look good. Yeah. Honestly, like, okay, she's still there. Like, it's not all, because you know, like, when you have, like, there's this visual of your body postpartum. And I actually tell people, when you see that first mirror, when you walk up to the mirror for the first time after becoming a mom, the belly deflated, the breast engorged, just tread like it. Because I feel like what cemented my body dysmorphia was my first vision of myself post baby. Oh, I was disgusted. And I think the fact that I judged myself so harshly stayed. And I've also found that when you become a mom, like, I always tell people, like, when you're a new mom, your mind is like wet clay. So what happens in those first few moments, those first few weeks, it stays with you. So I think I did major damage to myself that first interaction with my post-baby body. And I was so critical. I was really judgmental. And that has stayed, even now that my son is 2, my daughter is 6. I find myself always having to apologize to myself. It's like a constant, sorry now. It's not like that. You know, and it's like, if I didn't find myself beautiful, there's nothing anyone could tell me. It starts from within yourself.
It definitely does.
God help us. Body dysmorphia is a real.
It actually is. And you know, it honestly starts before pregnancy.
It does.
Right? Because if you, and some of those, like the postpartum depression as well, and like, you know, anxiety that it is experienced before, during, and after pregnancy, it's like if you're already experiencing those things before pregnancy, it makes you even more susceptible to experience them like during and post, right? So if you were already dissatisfied within your body before you got pregnant, before there was this major shift within your body, the pregnancy is just going to
laminate it.
Do you understand? It's just going to exacerbate it
and put it up on the wall and be like,
yeah.
All right, so I wrote a personal thing here.
Okay.
So this is me. So since I had children, ADHD has become unbearable. And is this due to less mental energy, or do you think hormones have an influence?
That is a fantastic question. And I have a question before I answer.
Okay.
So are you actually diagnosed with ADHD?
Yes.
Okay.
Severe.
Okay.
ADHD.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that you're diagnosed, because a lot of people are, you know,
self-diagnosed.
Right. And it's just
from
like,
Instagram.
Chill. Like,
oh my God, that's me.
Chill, you know, like you probably just need to spend time off your phone and, you know, like do like a digital detox. So I'm glad that you have an actual diagnosis.
I have been diagnosed,
But to answer the question, I think it's both, right? So less mental energy, because I mean, motherhood is like a cocoon for overstimulation.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, and then we now live in a
Lagos
city that is constantly overstimulating.
Yeah.
You, right? So there's that depletion in mental energy, because there are things that are depleting your mental energy. You're overstimulated from the city that you live in. You're overstimulated from, you know, the lives that you now have to care for, and the people that you have to just be there for and meeting their needs. Like somebody constantly, can I touch you?
Yeah.
Somebody constantly wanting to touch you and like feel on you, and it's like, can you leave me alone?
Yeah.
Right? And calling your name like, oh,
mama. I'm just like, God. And like, it's crazy because once upon a time I used to dream. I dreamt of this. I mean, I've always wanted to be somebody's mommy, and I love being their mom. But what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, and because you're experiencing this doesn't mean that you don't love being their mom, right?
course.
It's just like two things can be true at once.
Yes.
Like it is overstimulating. So yes, there's the mental energy, but then there's also hormonal changes too, right? It's like when women are pregnant, there is a decline in estrogen, right? Or progesterone, not estrogen, right? And that can affect the neurotransmitter that we need for concentration. So it's like
we forget things. Yes. Pregnancy brain.
Yes. So it's like there is the biological explanation for it in terms of like what's going on within you, but then there's also the environmental explanation. And I'm not even just talking about Lagos. I'm saying like being in an environment where you constantly have to attend to something, right? Like I've heard mothers say that if your kids are quiet,
oh my God, red flag. And the thing is, I always forget. So I'm like, peace. And then I'll just hear, Mama! It's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then I get there and it's chaos. So
yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
I'm not a mom yet, but I used to babysit when I was in college. And let me tell you, I would leave that house like... Bruh. I used to babysit for my uncle, and every time I would babysit, he would be like, do you still want kids? I'm like, but maybe 2.
Maybe just, no, see, 2 is actually, I'm so done.
Maybe 2, because it was 3 of them, and they were all, I think the oldest was 8, and then 5, and then the youngest was 3, but like I started babysitting for them when the youngest was born. So there was like
so
that
you were
like
really
newborn phase, and it's just like, it's a lot.
It's a lot. I cannot lie to you. And I recently saw someone who was like, oh, you look like you're ready for another. I'm like, all the children in my body have come out. Nobody at home again. I don't think I can. And when I tell people this, they think it's a vanity thing. But I actually don't think I have the capacity mentally for 3 kids. Like, I'm struggling as it is with the 2 that I have.
Yeah.
I don't want to know myself with one other person. Like, I think I've stretched enough, and I just want to keep what I have left for myself. Like, I don't want to do that, but like, if God decides, I hope He doesn't. We've had conversations where I've been like, this is not my desire, but not my will, but yours, Lord. So with all the changes that happen to a mom post-baby, what do you think women can do to prepare themselves for motherhood?
That's a great question. So, before we started rolling, you were asking me if I work with moms. Yes. And I was saying that, yes, I do. And something that one of my, quick side notes, one of my favorite things about working with clients is like being able to be there for them and like witness like that life evolution. Cycle that they go through, right? So there's a client that I have in mind in terms of like, that I'm thinking about rather, and, just supporting them pre-baby. When they came into therapy, it wasn't because of baby, but as life continued, baby came into the picture. So pre-baby and now, post-baby, we had a session and like she showed me the baby. I was like, oh my God. But one of the things that, this client was very aware of was the struggles that they were prone to, right? So they knew that sleep, for example, like lack of sleep was a big thing for them. So they started thinking of ways to prepare for that, right? Like, okay, what systems, what help can we have in place, right? So I would say self-awareness, knowing what is difficult for you, and, just being able to prepare based off of that. Now, I know that preparation looks different for everyone. And then, preparation can even unfortunately be a thing of like privilege, because not everybody has the privilege to prepare. But if you know that, okay, when I don't get sleep, I'm not able to function at my best. There are some people that when they don't have sleep, they're still able to pull through. But for some people, it's like, no, I can't. Right? So being able to have, certain strategies in place. Like, are you and your partner going to do shifts? Just talking about that. So self-awareness, definitely. If you are partnered with somebody, talking about like, okay, what is this phase going to look like for us? How do we want to handle it? And as the mother, coming from self-awareness, letting your partner know like, hey, these are the things that are difficult for me as is, and would worsen. And then relying on your community and relying on the people that are around you. Like, you shouldn't start building your village after baby's here. You should start building your village before. And hopefully you already exist in a healthy village that can just stand by you when baby comes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Hi everyone. Sorry to just pause the episode here, but we needed to quickly talk about the Luxury Collection Ltd. This is the space where we shoot out of, and it's located at number 5 Sanusi Fafoa in Victoria Island. This space is honestly my favorite furniture home goods store in Lagos. They literally sell everything from beautiful furniture pieces to homeware, accessories, beautiful things that you can use to just spruce up your home. And they have the most amazing scent space. Like, they sell everything from actual perfumes, room sprays, diffusers, candles, everything you could possibly think of for like making your room or your home or yourself smell great. So please come check this place out. Located at number 5 Sanusi Fafoa, Victoria Island, and let them know we sent you. All right, back to the episode. How do you suggest we handle postpartum care?
Yeah, I think postpartum care doesn't just fall on mom alone.
Yes.
I think everyone plays a role.
Yes.
Partner and community members, right? So, but let's start with mom. Mom, you got to look after yourself. You got to look after yourself. And this is where you really have to focus on self-care in those micro levels.
Yes.
Right? So you might not have the time to go to the spa. You might not have the time to book a vacation. You might not even feel like doing any of those things. But is it that, okay, I'm going to have a nice warm shower?
Honestly,
is it
those
that
showers were...
I'm going to,
I used to do an everything. I used to do what's called an everything shower. Oh my God.
Exactly.
I went and invested in all my skincare.
Right.
Scrub, soap, everything was like very luxurious.
Exactly. So then that becomes something
That's
that
like,
you look forward to.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's like micro. It's not major, but it does something really good for you.
Yes.
Right? So am I going to, have my everything shower? Am I going to have my naps? Right? Am I going to do, there are some people that like doing certain chores, right? So am I going to do laundry because I want to do laundry, or
do it the way I like?
Exactly.
Do laundry the way I like, because those are the things, those little luxuries.
Exactly. Or am I going to have my favorite meal? Right? Am I going to get my favorite?
Or just that friend for 1 hour?
Exactly. So you have to think about like those micro things that pour back into you, and you can pour into your cup. So that's what I would say with mom. With partner, I would say that looking out for your partner.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Your partner has just gone through one of the major changes, and you have as well.
Yes.
You have as well. You have there's a new life that you have to think about and care for and provide for. So there are all those pressures. So, but this is, your partner. I would assume that you know your partner. So when your partner is stressed and maybe she's not saying anything, right? So taking those steps to intervene. That, okay, you know what? Go take your shower. I'm going to look after baby, or I'm going to arrange for, grandma to come look after baby. Let's go out. Let's go out to eat or something, right?
Yes.
And then community, standing by your person. Don't wait for them to ask you for help, right? Ask if you can show up with food. Ask if you can come and look after baby.
Yes.
You don't even, I just said ask if you can show up with food, but send food.
Don't even ask, just
don't
show
ask,
up.
send
If
food.
they like something.
Do you understand? Just send food.
I also found that when I just had a baby, it was hard to do what time works?
Yes.
Is this okay?
Yes.
Can I just show up?
That's a lot of mental
capacity. If you knock on my door, I promise you, if it's a bad time, I will still be happy to see you. But that's me, knowing your friend and knowing what they would like. I don't think it's enough to just be like, oh, let's just give her space.
Yeah.
Because people tend to isolate women that just had children, and I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, and I think again, just like being there for them. Like one of my friends, she's currently pregnant, and she put up on her close friends like, oh, who can take me to go and do my hair and my nails? And I just text her. I was like, oh yeah, I'm free on Friday.
Friends, I would have left everything because I know that. I know that feeling of who's gonna come with me.
And because it was so funny because like I mean, being pregnant, there's a lot that goes on within your body, so we couldn't do both hair and nails in one day. So we couldn't do hair one day and then nails the second day, and like it was such a cute moment. But I'm glad that I could be there for her in that way. So you know, I responded to her saying something, but you don't even have to wait for them to say something. It's just like, okay, what are you doing this day? Let's go and do your hair.
Yeah.
Let's go and do your
I think
nails.
if you also know your friend, like I have some friends that even now, if she hasn't done her nails in a while, something's going on.
Yeah.
That's like how you know that things are
right.
down right now. So I tend to send. I have a nail tech that I send to people as a gift.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's coming over. I've called him. He's gonna come. That's like how I take care of people.
Yeah.
I have my last and final question, and this one is actually for the men. So motherhood is difficult, and we know. But would you say fatherhood is just as difficult? Are we neglecting the men? Should we? Because I know there's provider fever and all these things. Like, yes, women go through our postpartum, but I've actually seen the men go through provider fever and they lose they too lose their minds in that. Like, they get lost in that, where they become workaholics and we can't. So what do you say to that? How much time do we have? How much time do we have?
You know, I think we can get into, I think it can become dangerous when we start comparing like whose experience is more difficult.
Gotcha.
Right? So there's no gold medal for who has the most difficulty. Right? Everyone's difficulty is different. Should we be paying attention to men? Yes. We should. Now, it doesn't mean that like, oh, because we're paying attention to men, we should reduce how much attention we're paying to women. No.
Never that.
No.
That can never be.
No.
What I'm
you
saying.
know, like carrying somebody for 9 months is a lot. It's a lot. So let's just be real with that, right? But that's not to say that the experience that you're having as a dad is not a lot. Like it is a lot. Like there are a lot of dads that, like you've just said, provider fever, but then a lot of dads that, you know, just carry this like mental and emotional weight of like, what kind of father do I want to be? Like, oh crap, I'm about to be a father. I don't know anything about being a good father. I did not experience good fatherhood. You know, so there's a lot of like just like emotional.
Am I enough? Can I do this?
Exactly. There's a lot of like emotional and mental turmoil, and unfortunately, a lot of men don't admit that to themselves, and so it can then come out in like anger or, you know, like even myself, I'm going through difficulty, but it's just like, oh wait, if you had told somebody what was going on, then perhaps, you know, we could have gotten you the support that you need. And we doesn't have to mean like your wife or your, you know, the mother of your child. It just means maybe it could have been your guys that, you know, are already dads that can talk to you. So,
or a therapist.
Or a therapist. I do see men, actually.
Imagine that you
I do see men, and you know they're.
I love when men say they're in
working
therapy.
with men in therapy.
Gosh.
I love
That's like
it.
my first green flag in a human being. When a man is like, "Oh, I go to a therapist about."
Yeah, but yeah, no, fathers also need attention, right?
Absolutely.
In that cycle of bringing forth life.
Yes.
And men can actually experience postpartum depression.
They can.
It's underdiagnosed, but they actually can. So it's a thing.
Because I also think of the fact that for the men, a lot is happening. The wife that you know has changed.
Yes.
So that is scary. You have a new baby. There's a lot going on. You have to provide. So I do have empathy. I think all of this is to just say, we see you, dads.
Yeah, we do.
We see you. It's not easy for you too.
It's not.
Oh my gosh, I think we have to wrap here now. I'm actually very sad because I could have gone on and on.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this episode. I'm so grateful. And if we're looking for you, where can we find you?
Yes, so you can find me on the internet. So my personal handle is Funmto, Funmto. MotherTO.
NM.
Yes, and perks of having a unique name. Nobody else has that.
You're one of one.
Nobody else has that handle.
When you sent the change, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's new.
Yes, so that's where you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. And then for Ibi Ayo, our Instagram is ibii.ayo. And then our website is ibiayo.com.
Awesome. So we'll put all the links on the screen and in our bios. Thank you, everyone. So that's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Thank you for watching. Take care and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.